Hi, welcome to Full Time to Talk. This is just a bit of a pre-warning, bit of a trigger warning that on these videos, on these streams, I get guests to come on and share their life stories, their mental health struggles mainly, or physical struggles, stuff that have impacted them, maybe in a negative way. A lot of them are triumphant stories that they've come through the other side, and hopefully we end on a positive note. But there might be some stuff that's quite distressing to hear and watch. So just a bit of a trigger warning. This isn't just a football video you'll be watching. We speak about football too. Football and mental health is my two big passions. But there will be some elements in these videos as a certainty that may be too much for you as a viewer to watch. So this is just a trigger warning. If it's not your kind of thing, mental health chat, then maybe just give this video a miss. But if you're here to watch, then brilliant, and I hope you enjoy or take something from the stories, however bad they may be, because we all need to share our issues and our problems and our misfortunes to hopefully help someone out who's going through something similar. It's massively important to me and the guests that I have on here that we share our story and try and reach, even if it's just that one person, to try and help and raise awareness for the circumstances that we talk about on these videos. So yeah, thank you very much. Hello everybody, welcome back to Full Time to Talk. I'm delighted to be joined by a new friend, but someone I've met a couple of times now. Really good guy, Michael. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, thank you. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I hope you enjoyed the Creators Cup. Your son Jacob, after doing a bit of spying on us on that first training session, you sort of scouted us out of where we were training, and you managed to tag along to a second training session, which we were delighted to have Jacob part of that session, and obviously the day as well. It was a great day Sunday, wasn't it, mate?
It was a great day, yeah. He's just been he's off school obviously, and we've just been reflecting on it today, that how well it went as well. And the game, it was a really good game. The standard, quite surprised with the standard. It was it was a high standard, I thought. There's a few balls in there, as you'd say. And Joe Blackburn again, that the organisation, everyone in the crowd was having fun and cheering everyone along. It was a well organised day, and something that obviously we got Jacob involved a little bit, which thanks to everyone who helped in that, and especially yourself. And he'll never forget that. And obviously with myself, with what we're going to talk about tonight, it was quite a special day for me as well.
Yeah, I can imagine for you. Like I say, with the money going to Prostate Cancer UK, obviously we'll get into your story, and obviously your son been involved, like I said, but a special day for us as well, having you both involved as well, mate. We all spoke about it. We all wanted to emphasise how much we wanted you guys to be involved, and for us it was the icing on, the cherry on top of the cake, should I say. You guys been involved, so brilliant stuff. But anyway, for anyone who obviously doesn't know, how old are you? What's your name? What do you do for a job? Let's find a bit more out about you, buddy.
Yeah, so my name's Michael Wheeler. I'm 47 years old. I work for the Aviva Group, so I work in insurance. Actually work a night shift for the recovery side of things, so look after the insurance recoveries and things through the night. So that's what I do for a job. Been doing that for probably about 23, 24 years now.
Do you like it, or is it just a bill payer?
I do, yeah. It's something I enjoy. Just again, with my symptoms and what's going on at the moment, I'm going to be moving away from that job and into a day shift, so got a more regular shift and more regular sleeping pattern. So yeah, it's something I enjoy. It pays the bills, shall we say?
Yeah, of course. And what are your biggest passions outside work and family life? I assume, is it football and certainly?
Yeah. So yeah, I had a keen football myself in my younger days. I'm actually a Rotherham lad. I'm actually from Rotherham originally. So that's where my roots are. And then we moved over. Me and my partner moved over to Leeds for work. To be honest, we both work at the same company. The company moved to Leeds
Yeah.
In departments that we worked in. So yeah, obviously my Leeds United obsession came when Jacob was born. To be fair,
Really?
it was we're actually neighbours. I'm actually a keen golfer. I like to play golf quite a lot, and I go golfing quite a lot with our neighbours. Weekends away, my partner and his partner will go to the spa, and then we'll go and play golf. And they had some spare tickets, so that's when our passion started. Jacob must have been about 4, I think it was, in the game. I remember the first game. It was West Brom in the Championship. Bielsa was manager, and it was 1-0. Alioski scored the goal. 1-0 at Ellen Road it was. And then that was it. He was hooked. He was absolutely hooked. I could see in his face that day. Obviously the crowd wasn't massive back in them days.
Yeah.
But I could see it in his face how in awe he was of the place and looking around. And the next day he went and got an Alioski shirt with the name on the back. And since then he's obsessed. His bedroom's just decorated. Obviously watches all you guys and
I love that word as well. When it comes to Leeds United, a bit of fan, mate. The word obsessed gets used quite a bit, and it is an obsession, and it is with fanatics. It's you just can't help yourself, mate. You get a little bit of Leeds United, mate. And you just want more and more. And yeah, we'll touch on what we think. I want to get your views later on on what we think going forward. But yeah, so sort of to bring it back to why you're here, you reached out to me. You've seen some of my videos on this channel. It's mental health based and trying to raise awareness for all sorts of circumstances that people face in life and hardships. And I know speaking to you, you're going through it now. These last 12 months or so have been really difficult for you. So for anyone who doesn't know, do you want to sort of tell us sure your story, mate?
We'll go through it from the beginning. So how this has come about is I kind of did a similar thing at work, and it actually helped 2 people. So I did reach out to Matty and say, why don't we have a chat about it and see if we can, help other people, and maybe 1 or 2 people might go and get that test, which is what I did, to be fair. So yeah, like I say, my story is, I was struggling, I do work nights, but I was struggling to work, struggling to sleep on my days off, struggling to sleep, going to the toilet quite regular on a night. I'd say 3 or 4 times a night, busting to go to the toilet. However, when I went to the toilet, the flow, if you like, the flow wasn't powerful. A very weak flow. I sometimes would go on my own pajamas, if you like, box shorts, etc. So I knew something wasn't right there. My pillow would start to get sweaty, and there was sometimes I'd have to actually buy a new pillow. It was that wet, with sweating. Wow. And I developed like a dull ache right above the groin, so it was like in your say more in the hips area. Each side I got like a dull ache, and I couldn't get rid of it, even resting or I'd taken painkillers, things like that. I just couldn't get rid of this dull ache in my like hip area. So I went to the doctors, just explained my symptoms, things like that. I did a urine sample. So the doctor obviously took that away. Went back 2 weeks later, and they found just a tiny trace of blood in that sample. So standard procedure. They thought I'd got a urine infection. Give me some antibiotics, 2 or 3 weeks, and then come back, see if it had gone, type thing. So I went back, took the tablets, went back 2 or 3 weeks. It hadn't gone. It's still there. In fact, the nurse who'd done the test said it had got a little bit worse, if you like, or there was more blood now. So over that 3 weeks, it should have got better, but it didn't. It got worse. So I was then referred for some more blood tests and to have the PSA test, which is the test for basically how they test for prostate cancer, or one of the tests. So I had that test, and it was just like, so they say like a safe barrier is around 2.5, but so mine came back and it was 4. So I don't know, they must have a scale. So mine was a 4.
Wow.
So it was over the the desired area, if you like, but because it was over, so it was only slightly over, but then got referred to the hospital. That was to have a MRI. So when you go in the tunnel type thing, it was.
Yeah.
So So, nothing to worry about. It's just slightly over, precautionary. We'll go and have an MRI.
Yeah.
Apparently people can be, 60, 70, and I was only 4.
Yeah.
So we wasn't worried at that stage, just went for the MRI. Again, that came back, they'd find some lumps in the prostate area. Again, nothing to worry about. It could just be fatty tissue, etc. The hospital, again, weren't really sure at that.
Did you feel quite reassured it wasn't prostate cancer at this point, Michael? Were you quite chilled about it?
Yeah, with my age, I was quite chilled about it. I wasn't worried about it. It didn't enter my head that at that stage, we could be in trouble, so to speak.
Yeah.
But again, they'd found these lumps. Again, when the lumps start to appear, you think, you do start, I'd say, worrying or thinking about the possibility, I suppose.
Yeah.
So anyway, with these lumps, again, we had to go for the biopsy, which I have to say, the biopsy is not a nice thing.
Awful.
Obviously, they have to go into to get to the prostate. They use little, I would say, like tweezer things. You have to go in there and get them. Samples, if you like.
Yeah.
So they take 10 samples from your prostate, and again go away and analyze.
How long's the wait? How long's the wait?
So I would say, to be fair, I know the NHS gets quite a big, bad press or whatever. They were brilliant with myself, and they still are now. I would say between 3 weeks between each one. So I had the blood test, probably 2 or 3 weeks for the MRI scan, then 2 or 3 weeks. So probably about 6 weeks in total, from having the PSA of 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the biopsy. And I do want to, I've heard, the stories about people not going for this biopsy because of how bad it is, but you have to go. That would be my message. You have to go. Obviously, I'll elaborate on my story, but I've heard of people not going because of how bad it is. It is bad. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it or anything like that, but you have to go. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
So we had the biopsy. They take 10 samples, and then again, I was asked to go back to see this was go to see a specialist. Then after that, I got a letter to go and see a specialist. That's when I thought, the specialist. It wasn't just a phone call to say everything's fine or anything like that.
Right.
So I went. I think it was Jacob's first day at comp, to be fair. So I went on my, again, just went on my own, just thinking, oh yeah, I'll go and get the results. It was at 9 o'clock, I think it was. So I let my partner just take Jacob to his first day at school. First day at school, obviously. And then so that's when the story started to go a bit wrong, shall we say. So I went in to, again, she was such a lovely lady as well. She just basically broke it to me that unfortunately, I have got prostate cancer, and it wasn't. There is certainly a different levels to prostate cancer, so they have what's called a Gleason score. So, and it's scored from 1 to 10. And she advised me, I'd obviously researched this a little bit, and she advised me that I was a 9, which basically I was in trouble, if you like. So,
and what's going through your head at this point?
So at that point, I cried. I was upset. I cried. Obviously, my family flashed in front of me. Someone tells you you've got cancer. A lot of things go through your head. Most of them are bad, to be fair. So she told me it was a 9 and explained that with a 9, the prospects are not great, so we say, and the possibility is there's a possibility that it could have spread elsewhere. At this stage, obviously it was so bad that it could have gone elsewhere. So again, I was crying, and the lady, honestly, she was such a lovely lady. She grabbed my hand like this, and she said, "Don't you worry, Michael. We will sort this for you." That's what she said to me. She didn't know at that stage how bad. She just knew it was a bad score. She said, "Don't you worry," and I still remember that, and I've took that with me for the last year or so.
It must be a really big thing for her to tell you that news and know you're alone in that room. A lot of people will go with support, but because you being you, just thinking you'll go and you'll get that news, it'll be nothing, and it ended up being
and then the things go around your head about how you're going to ring your partner. Jacob's coming home from school, tell my mum and stuff like this. So all that was going through the head, but this is what again I mentioned about the NHS at this point. They were absolutely amazing shit. So straight away, I got referred to the Macmillan people who were upstairs where I was. So I just went upstairs and met my Macmillan nurse, who I can still phone today. They're just there for you. You need anything, or if you're having a bad day or anything like that, you can ring them whenever you like. And then she again said similar things. There's things we can do for you, Michael. Don't you worry. We'll sort this for you. And then they become your little receptionist. Obviously, you've got lots of options from there, but they become your little receptionist and plan your appointments and plan your different options that I had at that stage.
Yeah.
So obviously, I come home, spoke to my partner. We didn't tell Jacob at that stage. We were trying to plan how we would break it to him, if you like, and how we would do it. So I come home with my partner, and then the Macmillan people had arranged for me to go to different people of what treatments you can have, if you like. So you go and see them all, and then basically it's your choice. It's my choice, if you like.
How many different options do you have, Michael, in that?
So I had three. So I had the surgery option. There's like hormone tablets that you can have, constantly, or you can have radiotherapy. So I went to see a specialist in all them areas, if you like, and they tell you what the treatment is. So because of my age, so obviously I was 47 at the time, even the radiotherapy lady didn't persuade me. She didn't say that, but she kind of said, "Have you spoke to the surgeon?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Did he tell you that was the best option for you?" And I said, "He didn't tell me that, but he led me that way."
Yeah.
And she said, "Right." She said, "You go and see that surgeon again." So I said, "Right, okay." So I knew then. So what with me being young, so if you have the surgery, so the surgery is to have your prostate completely removed, so it's not there. You can then have the radiotherapy further down the line. So with me being young and getting a high score of the 9, the likelihood is it's going to spread and maybe come back. We don't know. Then you can have the radiotherapy after your surgery, if that makes sense. If you go for the radiotherapy first, the radiotherapy actually damages the prostate. You blast it, don't you? I think to try and fight it that way. So then, if that doesn't work, however, you can't then have the operation,
right?
Because it's damaged, so you can't pull it out basically because it's not the right shape. I think that's how they explain it. It's not the right shape to pull out. It won't work. So I've got like a fake one in now, if that makes sense.
All right. Okay.
So all the things around it would link up to it.
How long did you have to sort of make the decision? Was it obviously needed to be a quick decision, I assume?
Yeah, it was a quick decision. Yeah, so we did come away. Obviously, we went to see everybody, but once we kind of knew, my partner and I both come to the same conclusion. I said, we both said, "Did you get the feeling that they'll pursue us that way?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And she said the same. And where we are, my age, we've got a family. Then that was the decision we went with. So we made it quite quickly. I spoke to my parents as well. And again, they were of the same opinion, shall we say.
Yeah.
But obviously the side effects with that as well. So yeah, we were quite strong that that's what we wanted to do, and I think it helped. It wasn't who showed us showed that. It was quite positive that we're going to go for that, and that gives me the best options going forward, outlook going forward as well. So that's what we decided to do.
Was it? Obviously, I've never been in this position myself, and I know what my mum was like when my mum got diagnosed with breast cancer. She's come through it. She's had complications. She's a poorly woman now, although she has got the all clear. But it was telling the family that was the hardest thing for her.
Yeah.
What she was going through didn't matter to her. It was the conversations with my stepdad, with obviously me and her other kids. And is that how you felt? Not really much about your own well-being, but about your family. And is that the hardest part?
That is the hardest part.
Yeah.
And it's still, even today, if I have a bad day today, it's kind of, I've mentioned that I'm having this bit of support from the medical people. That's where I pour it out, if you like. It's never in front of family or,
try and be strong, don't you?
Oh, yeah, you try and be strong, which is probably not the best thing to do, but it's probably something that, the stigma about men in particular, I suppose, that they don't let it out as much, and I can see, that's become reality for me. But I think as time has gone on, we have, I have cried quite a lot, and my family have seen me cry quite a lot, and it's becoming okay to do that, if that makes sense for me now. It was very tough at the beginning.
I think you need to just be open with people. Like, as hard as it is to put that sort of burden on your wife, on your children, it's so difficult to show that vulnerable side. But I think you need to make you at the end of the day, you need their support as much as you don't want it. You need it really, especially when you're as vulnerable as you've been. And it's such I mean, what, 1 in 2 get cancer, 1 in 8 men get prostate cancer. I mean, what is the age, Michael, usually that?
So it is. I'm very young, to be fair. I mean, they don't even start the screening or everything until over 50.
Yeah, I thought so.
You start having the tests and things, and it's something. But I don't know if you're aware about the Chris Hoy story and things like that. I mean,
the
one of the fittest man in Britain. At one point, he's still now, and looks after himself, and
he does.
So I think. That's obviously raised awareness of it, because he's quite young. I think he's 46, and I'd be younger than myself. So the fact that he's caught it and he's campaigning, I think he's doing bike rides, long distance bike rides and things, and I think he's got celebrities helping him. And I think that'll raise massive awareness, and it needs to be,
100%.
Raised. And there's lots of my son Jacob did a run. He ran a marathon in January, so he was out in the snow and raising money. He raised $3 grand. He did $3 grand.
What a legend!
Yeah,
what a legend your son is, mate. Honestly, what a lad. He's absolutely class, mate.
And so I think it's going to be, all the things that I talked about with people. I think it is going to come to shall we say, come to the forefront, and that that age probably needs to be reduced a little bit. Where the tests become compulsory, if you like, a bit like the women with the breast cancer.
I agree, mate, 100%. After hearing you speak about it, and obviously, like you say, the Chris Hoy stuff, it's not over 50. There's gonna be people slip through the net, mate, and ultimately not get that seen. And unless people like yourself are open and speak about it and raise awareness for 50, it may be what they sort of benchmark at 50, they start screening you. But like you say, there's people before 50, and this needs to be spoken about. What would obviously work is a major part of anybody's life, and money makes the world go around, unfortunately. How did work take it? What was your plan with work and money? And because as a man, you provide for your family. Will that in back of your head? Will going through treatment, financials and stuff like that, Michael?
Yeah, I must say my work been fantastic. I've been paid my normal pay all through. I was off work for touching 6 months, and I still could have been off longer, if you like. But I was starting to I could feel myself, my mental health struggling, and I needed company. I needed to take my mind off things. I needed to get back to
normality.
Routine, and you can stay off work for a long time, but it's not always the best thing to do, I don't think. And I can work on my work desk now. I can work from home, so that's how they supported me financially. I had calls, update calls and manager, etc. I manage a team, if you like, so I look after the department on the night, and I had brilliant. I set up a WhatsApp group for them, and I was sending them update videos and things like that, and I got videos back. So it was all, the support was amazing. I couldn't fault it.
So that was a stress you didn't really have.
I didn't have that stress at all.
It's what you needed it when you try to get your physical health back on track. Not having that money stress is massive, Michael. So that's fair play to them.
It was, So like I said, they were amazing through it all, to be honest. And like I say, I've recently had an interview it's still within the same company,
Yeah.
but it was. I'll be sad to lose, my team that I've got now, but I'll obviously be taking on a new one, hopefully, and working in the days, so I get that bit of better structure.
Yeah, 100%. What were the biggest physical and emotional challenges you had during
Yeah.
the treatment?
hmm So the operation only, would you believe it only takes, I think it was about 4 hours. The surgeon come and see me after. Um, so it's hard to explain. So when you say you raised, like say Jacob raised 3 grand, you raised 5,000 from that amazing football match that you all did, and it's because what he told me about the money, it all goes, so it's done by robotics, if you like, now rather than surgeon, so it's more
Wow.
precise, more less errors, more can not go wrong, if you like.
Wow.
So I had robotic surgery. So the surgeon does actually move the robot, if you like, but what actually
Yeah.
goes into the body
Cool.
is like the tools are actually controlled by the robot arms, if you like. So I've been opened up, I've still got the scars. So I've got six big scars on my belly. But like, I'd say big, they're like 50p's. So I've got six. So they went in at all different angles. So to be fair, I didn't have many side effects from the operation. Obviously, the stitching heals. I couldn't move for probably 2 or 3 weeks. I was on the bed,
Yeah.
I've had to have a catheter because I couldn't go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Due to what they've been messing about with, etc. So the side effects from the operation are quite, considering what you're having done, obviously having something removed. It's amazing how quickly, I'd say within 6 weeks, my scars had healed. I've still got them, but the stitching had
Yeah.
healed and things like that. The catheter, I just had to have all that on for 3 weeks. So it was just general fatigue, if you like, and it wasn't necessarily pain. I just couldn't function properly, if you like.
Yeah.
So
Emotionally, that must be quite difficult then, as like say, as a man,
emotionally, yeah,
being laid up, like say a catheter fit,
yeah,
not being able to take your son to football practice and all those
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff you'd have normally done. Is that probably more
That
hard
was,
hitting than the physical element, Michael?
yeah. Like I say, I was amazed how the physical element, there's no, pain. Obviously, it was painful with my belly, but you take painkillers and these
Yeah, of
injections that you
course.
have to stab your belly every twice a day. It was just to manage the pain, but it was more that I couldn't physically do things, if you like, after
Yeah.
that affected me more, and affected me mentally, and probably affected my family as well, in that we couldn't do the things, if you like, um, for a long time. Probably about 2 months it took me to get strength, if you like, to go out normally to the shops, etc.
Yeah.
So it was more that I was. It wasn't painful, but it was more. I didn't have the energy. It was fatigue, if you like. It just felt like I was tired and fatigued, it's all normal apparently. That's how it does affect you. Um, your body's not functioning as it used to, if you like. So yeah, I would say after about 2 months, I was up and about and walking about as normal. Just
Yeah.
obviously not being able to do anything physical, if you like, lifting or exercise at that point.
Can I just I don't know if I'm rewinding a bit here, but in terms of you found out you got prostate cancer
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
needed other tests to see if it had spread, does this happen after this
Yeah, so
situation?
that is right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So when I'd that I think when I was able to, I think it might have been about that time. So about 2 months after, I went back and I had is it an MRI scan, that one?
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's an
yeah.
MRI, I think it's the MRI scan, that
You
one.
lay down, full body scan.
That's right. Yeah. So I went in there to see if anything had spread at that point. So this is where the good news starts coming in. So at that point, we've got no. I mean, I don't know what they could see, but she said it's a bit. She what about my knees? She said, "Oh, I don't mind. All right." I said, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "No." She actually rang me, so I knew that was good news because they didn't have to go in.
Yeah,
I knew it
yeah.
was quite good news. She rang me and said, "Oh, just to let you know, it's not spread from your prostate at this point."
Brilliant.
However, she said, "Did you used to play football?" Well, I said, "I did, to be honest, when I was younger." So I didn't play for a good 10 years. She went, right, well, keep an eye on your knees because they're not in a good state. So I went, right, okay.
You've never been so happy to wear your knees are
No, I
buggered,
was
have you,
happy to
Michael?
your knees have had it. Yeah, yeah. So I said, right, I'll do that.
Bless you.
So yeah, from that point of view, at the moment nothing spread. The surgeon did tell me at the time he'd taken. Sorry, I just dropped one of my earpods. So he'd taken a lot of nerves away as well.
Right.
So because and I think a few, is it nodes? I think he said, so like your lymph nodes and things like that, because that's where the cancer can go and spread.
Yeah.
So he'd done what he could and taken all that away, if you like. And which is why, you do have quite a lot of side effects from the operation with regards to going to the toilet and things like that. You don't get the sense that you need to go to the toilet.
Right. Okay.
So it is quite as soon as it's there, I have to go to the toilet. So, I have to make plans of when I'm going out. Right, where's the toilet? That's the first thing I need to scout out.
100%.
When I first came out, I had to wear like men's, like it can only be described as nappies. To be fair,
Yeah.
that, and you start off with a big nappy that it come up to my belly button type thing. But gradually, as time's gone on, I wouldn't say I now know when it's coming, but I've got more time to get to the toilet. I can, hold it in if you like.
Trust your body a little bit more now than you did.
More, yeah. So you gradually work down the nappy sizes till you don't need them at all.
That must be so difficult, Michael. Honestly, it must be so difficult to be at stage. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's just normal now. I just wear the really small ones that you can't even see. To be fair, so it's just normal, and that is, why. I did the chat at work, and now I feel comfortable chatting to you about it because to me it's normal now, and that's me.
You're so brave, mate. You're so brave, and it's such an inspiration to hear someone just speak so openly about. I know cancer. It's horrible. It destroys lives. It's awful, but this is an embarrassing side effect that not everyone would speak about, and I think, like you say, you need to highlight this because ultimately, you need to go through the process you've done and not hide and shy away from it because, let's be fair, you're still here today, you're still getting to see your son grow up, and there's all these side effects that must be embarrassing and hard to, be a man and go through this, Michael. But, like say, you'd urge anybody to go and get checked out. And
I would urge anybody to go and get that test. And, I'm past the embarrassment now. I'm not embarrassed about it. It's just how it is. And that's me now. And that's, we're just referring back to the Leeds Create Cup, sorry, and that minute silence that you have. And I think I spoke to you after, and I said, "Oh, it kind of got me."
It got you, yeah.
And I spoke about it today. Like I say, I have a bit of therapy for my prostate cancer, and I spoke to the lady about it today. And that minute for me kind of summed up. I know it's only a short minute, but it summed up my journey. I started off, and I was when Evie, she said it was for all the people who, I think it was for the referee, wasn't it? It was supposed to referee, and
it was. Having a nightmare, these earbuds, aren't you, mate? Don't worry about it.
And in that minute, I know it's only a minute, but I
they'll be having a good laugh, mate, at certain parts of this.
Having a good laugh at that. There you go.
Yeah, go on, mate.
So in that minute, I was emotional for the first 30 seconds. Wow, this has really hit me. Jacob was in front of me, saw me crying.
Yeah.
And then for the second 30 seconds, I was grateful, and I was proud, if you like, that we got there and we're through it, and we're watching a bloody football match. Who would have thought we'd been doing that? You know what I mean? We're here watching a football match.
After all them dark thoughts across your journey.
All them dark thoughts. The journey we've been on, and everyone's having a great time. All the kids are having a great time. I could see all your family loving it, weren't they?
I had loads.
I don't know how many fans you had there. It was like you had your own stand.
I did, mate.
And in that minute, I just went through such a journey. Like I was upset, devastated. Oh God, how it had affected me. But then the last 30 seconds, I was so proud that we were here and at this football match, and we've got through it, and we're still fighting. There is still that chance, but we face that when it comes. At the moment, everything's fine.
How do you live now mentally in terms of that chance? Obviously,
Yeah,
that worry, is it always there? Do you switch it off?
yeah,
Can you get on with it without
yeah.
thinking about it, mate? Or
Yeah, at first it was always there, and I did struggle to sleep for a good few months, I would say. Um, it was always at the back of the mind. So what happens is I have to go back to the hospital every 3 months
right?
to have that test, just to make sure that we're all still all right. And
Is
I
that
have
forever
done.
now, Michael? Is that forever?
So every 3 months for 2 years, and then I think after it is forever, but then after 2 years it becomes the times that you have to go becomes
Right. A bigger
more.
gap.
I think then
Yeah.
it's 6 months, then it's every year.
Right. Okay.
I think your problem area is, I kind of understood it that it was just after your surgery you have to go more often if you like, so the chances of it spreading might be more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've had one on Friday, and I've got a week last Friday, got the result back, and we know we're on 0.1, so we can't get much lower of a reading. So the surgery's worked. We're where it needs to be. We're on the right path.
Brilliant.
We're living with the side effects, but that's us now. My family are all aware. I'm now confident. At first I didn't go out. I must admit I didn't go out. I was to go out. Now we know we're back to normal. We're going out for family meals. We go to places. We go to football, and life's just normal for me and for my family as well. It's become normal for them. I think there is a saying. It takes. I think it's about 60 days or 66 days from something new to settle in, and I would, say it took me about a good 2 or 3 months, and then right, this is it. This is what we're going to do.
You feel like you're finally back. Feel like you're finally
Yeah,
back to before the diagnosis.
yeah, I do, and that minute silence. I keep referring to that minute silence, but that just reflected on that.
That's so powerful that
It is so
I'm
because
stood
it's
there.
so quiet.
Yeah, I'm stood
Yeah,
there, dead nervous to play a football game, and you're in that stand going through that emotional roller
yeah.
coaster of that past 12 months within that minute. That's
But within that minute, yeah, and as soon as that minute had finished, and I was back to normal, watching the game, having fun. But that silence is so powerful because it was really quiet, wasn't it? Just
yeah, no,
the
really well
silence
respected. And like I say, I
it was really
know
well respected.
Joe Blackburn did a brilliant job, like we say, and
It
it's
did, yeah.
raising that awareness is massive. And just having you speak so openly about things, it's just, I hope you said to me earlier, didn't you? You hope just one more person, one person
Yeah,
listens, sees, and goes and gets checked. And it's
yeah.
it's honestly, I'm so like proud of you. I've met you 3-4 times now. I think you're such a
Yeah,
great man, a great dad, and I absolutely love your Jacob to bits. His class. Like I say, 4 years from now, we're playing that Creators Cup, mate. He'll be playing in that Creators Cup.
Try and get him in there. Yeah. He's been playing football tonight, bless him. So he's getting there. He's doing well with his football.
Football mad playing wise as well? Is he always playing it? And
yeah. He plays on the left wing. He loves to play on the wing. He sometimes plays at full back. He's got a good engine. He runs up and down. He never stops running. So yeah, he's well into his football. He's doing well, bless him.
Good. So do you think mentally he's been affected by any of this, or has he ever sat and opened up to you, which must have been hard, or is it just sort of passed him by being a kid? He's just bottled it up.
Yeah, I think I don't think he showed it, but I've seen it. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
he's very. I mean, you know him quite. He's a shy kid, isn't he?
Really
so it is hard.
He's
a shy lad. So it is hard to gauge, if you like. Sometimes he's just quiet, and that's just him. But I think he's processed it as well now, if you like. So I think he's been there when he was down and worried, and thinking the worst, if you like.
Yeah.
But now, obviously we're back out doing things, and he's back to normal. And I think that's lifted him, and he's focused, and he's doing well at school and things like that. So yeah, I honestly think he's back to normal. Yes, so we say normal.
As normal as life can be.
As normal as a 12-year-old can be. Yeah.
Let's talk about something that very rarely screams normality. Leeds United.
Yeah.
Going into this season, I'd love to get your thoughts. Obviously, like I say, health-wise now, you've got good news. You'll be looking forward now rather than looking back. And football's a massive passion of ours. We share that. We've got that in common with Leeds United. So how do you feel? Daniel Farke, the right man? Are you happy with the signings?
I'm happy. We think like I say, this is a topic that's never far from my lips with the lad. Um, we do talk about, we tend to agree on things, to be honest. So yeah, we're happy with the signings. We've got stacking now, aren't we?
Yeah,
They're
we
playing
have.
tonight, aren't they? They've had that friendly, the 1-4-1, aren't they? That
Yeah,
little
4-1.
friendly they've had tonight. But we watched the Man United game and we were quite impressed. I thought Tanaka was outstanding. He's still in again.
Not really. You need to put that one back in. Yeah. They have had your life tonight, then, mate. They have had your life.
Is that better? We're back.
We're back. We are back.
We're back, yeah. So yeah, we thought Tanaka was outstanding. I thought he adapted. What a player he is. So calm, so composed. I think he's going to smash it in the Premier League.
I agree.
I agree. We're happy going forward. Even the striker guy, is it Nemecha, is it? Nemecha, I'm quite happy with him, how he hold it up. And I think if we get those two.
He scored tonight as well. He scored tonight.
Yeah, he did, yeah. A goal like yours, wasn't it? Just tapped it.
Yeah. There's a lot of movement before that tapping, mind you.
Me and Jacob were talking about that, and he said, it kind of reminds us of the Rafinha Gelhardt one against Norwich.
Yeah,
Rafinha was down the wing and then he taps it in and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds us of that one. So yeah, we're happy with the signings. I think just need probably a winger. I think we need a winger. But I was happy with how he was holding it up, and if he could play, get the two flyers on the wings, I think he'll go 4-3-3. I think he will, yeah. And then the hold up striker, if you like, playing in the wingers, or bringing the midfielders into it. I thought against Man United they looked quite good. I thought they had the better of the game, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree. We're holding on at times when we brought the kids on.
Yeah, at the end,
moments, but that's going to happen against Scum. They have got some quality as much as we don't like them. But
I thought,
of course. But like I say, I think Mecha played really well. I think he's going to be probably the third choice anyway. If we're honest,
he is,
another striker. Not a bad option, mate. What do you make of the news tonight of Joseph handing in a transfer? Well, not handing in, but saying he wants to leave.
It was kind of out there for if you looked in there, it was kind of there for you to see, weren't it? Not being there, not being there, not traveling to Germany. And everyone else is back in, aren't they? Nonto played at that tournament and he was back.
He did.
It was kind of there. I think Farker didn't say anything about it, did he? Saying he'd give him a bit more time, or didn't feel ready or something. So, we like Joseph, to be honest. He's got all the attributes there to be a top striker, in my opinion. But at this moment in time, it's probably not the right time for him. So if he's wanting to further his career and develop himself, I suppose, then it's probably the right move for everyone. It's going to be it's tough, but
it's timings as well, mate. Sometimes timings are just off. I think Charlie Cresswell will go and have a really good career, but at the time, he wanted minutes. He wasn't going to get where Leeds United were, and it's the same now with Joseph. You can't imagine him leading line in Premier League. He struggles leading line in Championship, so he'll move on. He'll probably do all right, but it is a shame what a difference 12 months makes. He's going into
he was
Championship
season.
He was the man. That's the word. He was the man. Now he's the forgotten man.
I think he'll do well, but again, it's if he does well for he might be the perfect fit for Betis or this other team after him now, the Spanish team, isn't he? It might be perfect for them, but he's probably not perfect for Leeds at this moment in time. So, like you say, at this moment in time, if he wants to go, then I think we have to let him go, to be fair.
The next biggest point really is when I sort of touch on with the side is a goalkeeper. How are you feeling? I mean, I've seen a bit in training. Darlow looked really good in training.
Yeah, there was a couple of saves.
Yeah, you see that one from Dan James's volley I've seen on social media. I was like, whoa. And Melier did okay at times against Scum. Oh, but I don't want to end up where we're in a position, mate, where come Everton, we've still got one of these in goal. But I mean, what's your take on the goalkeeper situation?
With the goalie, I'd like Pope, to be honest. I'd like, that I know there's quite a lot of the foreign goalkeepers, lined up or interested in, shall we say, but I'd like Pope if I could choose one. Just think a steady pair of hands, experienced. He's a big lad as well. I mean, they're going to be probably the biggest defensive midfielder in the Premier League, aren't they, with the sizes that he's signing? And he's a big fella as well. If I could choose anyone, I'd go for him. But Trafford's looking like Man City have come into the fold now, aren't they, for Trafford?
Yeah, it does.
So maybe he's not going to Newcastle anymore. So it's looking a bit And I've seen a little bit of that guy. Is it Lemons? They're linked with last couple of days. I've seen a bit of him.
Yeah.
Is he a Belgian guy, isn't he? So he's pretty decent. But I think the pool that they're looking in, they're all pretty decent, aren't they?
Yeah.
There isn't one where you think,
linked,
oh,
no.
there isn't one you'd think, oh, I don't think, stay away from him or anything like that. So I think that they're looking in the right areas, shall we say. But if your question is, would I pick one, I'd go for Pope just for 2 years, get him in there and then move on.
It'd have been my pick, but I'm sure you agree with me. The 49ers ain't got much wrong in the last couple of years. They seem to be getting things right now, even though they're a bit of a meltdown a week or so ago. I think, it feels like they're very much in control. We've got a decent amount of players coming with experience. They're all international players, bar Longstaff, who's an experienced Prem player. Yeah. Get a couple of those Brazilians over the line now, hopefully.
That's it, yeah. Get those flyers in. I think that's what they're missing, those flyers on the wing. We've got Dan James.
A couple of X-Factor players now, mate. That's all they need.
Yeah, a couple of X-Factor. And I think, we could be in for a good, solid season. I think, Bogle towards the end of the year and how he's picked on, and this year it's like...
I've got no concerns about Bogle, Michael.
What a player he is.
None at all. He's such a good player.
He had a few shaky games at the start, but since then he's flying, isn't he?
Do you and Jacob get to many games, mate? Or
yeah, we do. Yeah, we're members, so we sit in the family stand if possible. Or I tend to find, like I say, I work nights, so I tend to find you can go on the stadium and try and find where you can get.
Yeah.
So I tend to not go on when it's released. I tend to get lucky towards the end, nearer the game.
I do that quite a lot.
You can find you get a little block together, or I think you usually sit above us, don't you?
I sit in top of East Stand 95% of the time, mate.
Yeah. So I prefer it up there, obviously, with the leg room.
Leg room, great view. It's just getting up there, isn't it? It's just getting up there. To be fair, other than that, it's a cracking view.
Up there, you have to pay full price for Jacob as well, whereas in the family stand, it's so yeah, we tend to go in there. We probably went about 12, 13 times to be fair last year, so we did all right.
Spawn.
Like I said, we're looking at night. I don't know if it refreshes or midnight or something, but actually, if I go in early hours at morning, it seems to be quite good. They seem to appear.
What's crack for Everton game then? With that being a late kickoff, will you be going to that? Will you not be able to go because of work or?
Yeah, it should be. It's on a Sunday.
It's on a Monday.
Oh, it's the Monday night. Yeah. I don't work Monday, so it's Monday night. Yeah, so you will look to try and get a ticket for that. I have Monday, Tuesday off work. So yeah, we're looking. Try and get to that. I'm quite confident for that. I don't know why. It's
a very important game, mate, because then we've got Arsenal and Newcastle after, so it's we need to hit the ground running, don't we?
Yeah, I don't think there's, obviously the window's still open, but I don't think they've got anybody to be scared of them.
I agree.
And like I say, with how they're performing so far, and they look confident as well. They don't seem to be overawed or anything like that.
I'm massive on momentum, me as well, mate. Just in life, not just in sport, but when you've done so well at Summit, it's hard for me to believe we're going to go up and all of a sudden just be poor every week. And I know going up, teams got promoted last year, and all of a sudden they go from winning to losing every week. I understand the quality difference, but I just find it hard to believe. Even watching them in these couple of friendlies, I feel like there's a bit of an aura about Leeds. Maybe maybe I've got my blinkers on. I don't know, but I feel like there's a confidence in their ability, and I don't expect us to be whipping boys. I expect us to be looking way above that relegation zone, Michael. I've got no fears at all. I'm really excited more than anything.
Yeah, that's the feeling that I'm getting as well. Watching things and watching YouTube and things like that. There's no one really not worried yet, Ali. No one's worried, thinking, everyone's quite. Obviously we're not going to be blazing everyone away, but there's people quite confident getting.
We can compete, can't we? Every week, I think we can compete.
14. Yeah. Like I say, I've got some quality players. I think some of the players will be better in the Prem than the Champ. They'll get more space.
Nonto, Ramazani, potentially, people like that.
Yeah, Ramazani could flourish. Yeah, he could flourish with the space he get. When he comes on, he's an impact player, isn't he?
Yeah.
If you bring him on for 20 minutes, if people are pushing on, if we can get out to him, he's going to have more space, I would say.
Yeah, no. You'll have to meet me and Priestley in the Peacock.
Yeah, we will. You in the Peacock quite a lot, don't you? No,
we stand outside at Peacock, mate. If you
well, come and see
the game. Come and say hi. I'll buy you a drink. I owe you one.
Very good.
So just before we sort of wrap up, what's your sort of advice, just to sort of end on, for anyone who maybe needs to go get checked out, or someone who's being checked out and maybe going through the same journey? What's your advice to anyone in those circumstances, mate?
So to summarise, I would say, the symptoms I've given, and also the symptoms, you can easily research it online. If you've got any concerns, no matter what your age, um, just go and get that test. The initial PSA test is just a simple blood test, and then obviously things progress from there. So get yourself to the doctors, get that test. They do push it away. It is quite, you do read about it, the doctors, oh, you're too young, blah, blah, blah. So, you make sure you insist you get that test. That's what I did, to be fair. And, but where I am now, we're here, we're looking forward, we're positive, we're moving on. And so, like I say, I have done a similar thing at work, and I've helped two people who thank me so much because they went. So, doing this tonight with yourself, if we can help just that one person and get that message out there to go and get them tests, look for your symptoms and don't be afraid, because, it's worth it in the long run to get yourself checked out.
And something I just didn't mention actually before we go is the therapy side of things. You're having some sort of therapy now, are you, to sort of cope?
Yeah, that's right. So because I'm quite young, I've had they've asked me to do quite a lot on the NHS. There's been like a I don't know what it is, like a dummy, if you like, to test on. So I did a talk for the NHS. So I talked to a lot of there was a call about it. So I went on a call for the NHS and spoke to a lot of people similar to this about how I found out. And would you believe that Jacob? We've got a neighbour, and Jacob kicks the ball over his fence. Plays football every day, and he's a lovely old gentleman, and he throws it back for him all the time. And I went on that call. And my neighbour was on that call.
Wow.
He's an old gentleman, and he'd had radiotherapy. We didn't even know that. We both could see his house, and we didn't even know we lived that close. And he was on that call. He was discussing because he'd had the radiotherapy. He was discussing his side effects and things like that. So, like I say, everybody probably knows someone who's suffering with it or struggling with it, or so it is worth going to get yourself checked out. So so I've had do lots of therapy, to be fair. So I've had my partner's friend, and this is available as part of recovery from prostate cancer, is Reiki. So I don't know if you've heard about Reiki. So it's where you've got pressure points on your body, certain different points, and they just hover across and try and heal those areas, if you like. And it's more of a mental health healing.
Right, okay.
So I've had that, which again it's more like a resting therapy, if you like. So you're resting and visualizing things, and I found that helped me quite a lot. And then I've also the lady I spoke to today, little notes, because I actually asked her what it was called, to be fair. Oh yes, there it is. So it's called EFT, which is like it's a speaking therapy. So everyone says it's good to talk and things like that.
Yeah.
And it is. I found that is the case, which is why I've agreed to do this tonight. So, and that's again, it's just the certain points of your body, so your ends of your fingers, things like that. And all we do is talk about things that have gone wrong or gone good, and you touch these certain points in your body. There's on your face, the top of your head, and here, and your chest. So as you're talking, you're using these pressure points on your body. So it's like a technique to relax yourself, if you want, or talk about things that you don't usually talk about.
Okay.
And again, on those, the therapists are so good. They know what to say. They know how to get things out of you, if you like.
Yeah.
So they are very emotional. But in a good way sometimes in a bad way. If you go, you go back to what's happened, and then you bring it forward to the progress you've made and things like that. It's more of a talking therapy, and you probably don't realize, what these pressure points are doing, but it definitely gives me a kind of a release, if that makes sense.
It's working for you.
It works. Yeah. I'm always, always looking forward to my session, if you like. It's only an hour. It's just me and that lady. I'm in Leeds, she's in London, so there's no connection there. It's just me and her talking about what's happened and why I'm upset, if you like, and what we can do to make that better. And if I am better, how have I got there? Very good. It's not something I would, beforehand ever, probably dismiss it and think, oh, it's not for me type thing. But
You give it a go, and now it's part of you.
Yeah, go, yeah, as like a trial, yeah, and how I would recommend it, yeah. It's excellent. It's helped me quite a lot.
It's so nice to see you sort of thriving now, hearing your story now in full tonight, and seeing a smile on your face. You're in a great place, and like I said, I've met you a few times, and I've seen you emotional a few times, and
you have, yeah.
It's just really nice to see you smiling, to know that you know right now, touch wood, everything's fine, and you can look ahead to a long future, mate, with your family, your beautiful family, and
thank you very much. Yeah,
hopefully see Leeds lift some trophies in future.
Another one.
But no, thanks so much, Michael. Honestly, I really appreciate it, and hope this story
so welcome.
resonates.
Yeah, and again, thank you to yourself for, I know Jacob reached out to you when he realised where you were training, and we got to meet Joe and Lockie, and there's a few others there as well. Who else did he meet? Jack. Oh, yeah, Jack makes his laugh. He's a good laugh.
He's just a sausage, isn't it?
So you four are the ones that he watches quite a lot, to be fair, and Joe, to be fair. So he managed to get a photo with Joe.
All the best ones. All the best ones.
All the best ones. Yeah.
But no, really appreciate
it. We had a fantastic day.
Yeah, class, mate. Class. This is what it's all about, mate. Brought a smile to my face, being able to help Jacob out and get him involved. It was class. Honestly, just like I say, it made it even sweeter for me for him to be involved. So yeah, love it, and many more times to come, mate, hopefully. So
yeah.
Thanks so much. Please please subscribe, and please drop comments in. This is going to be a premiere, so this will be out the day after. So this will be tomorrow, going live at 9. So yeah.
Okay.
Leave comments in as we go, and Michael will be in the chat when it's live. Hopefully, won't you, Michael? And we'll we'll watch it back together, and we'll get in with the comments. So yeah, thank you so much, Michael. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.